Hey guys! So today is one of those days that ends very differently than the way that it starts. We start our day today with the moon and Mars both in the sign of Pisces. But by the time that we get to this evening, actually it's happening around 7 p.m. Eastern time, so wherever that correlates to wherever you're at, both Mars and the moon are going to be shifting together into the sign of Aries. Now, this should create a very palpable energetic shift going on within us, both in terms of our energy body and in terms of our emotional body, since this is Mars and the moon moving together into the first sign of the zodiac, which is ruled by Mars. We should be coming back to life. We should be coming back online. We should be feeling like we're waking up from some type of dream, perhaps throughout the course of the day. And I'm telling you, you guys, by the time that we get through today, we are likely to be feeling much differently than we did to start the day and then we have been for quite a while. So let's get into the report and see how all of this specifically is playing out for us. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. And as usual, if you guys stick with me till the end of the report, I'm also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in correspondence with the energy that we have playing out today. So we'll be talking about that a little bit as well. But to start things off, let's talk about the astrology. If you guys caught my video from yesterday, you know that I was introducing these concepts that we're actually going to be talking more about today. I was talking about how this week generally is representing a major energetic shift, Mars ruling our energy body, moving from Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac that really sort of breaks down and dissolves our energy body, into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign ruled by Mars, which really reinvigorates and brings back to life, re-energizes that same energy body. So we have like very, very significant shift that is playing out this week in terms of the way that we are really perceiving ourselves as well, as Mars is representative of Aries, and this is the sign of the self. This is how we relate to ourselves. This is how we express ourselves. This is our way of interacting with our own like personal sense of self-embodiment and self-expression. And over the past few weeks, with Mars in the sign of Pisces and also having formed the conjunction to Neptune, in my report from yesterday, I was talking about how we may have been in a state of sort of like disillusionment regarding our own selves, our own self-perception, perhaps like some confusion about like who we really are and what are we doing? Like, what is the state of our actual reality at this point in time? This is maybe perhaps some things we could have been struggling with over the past couple weeks, but with Mars moving into Aries today and moving into Aries alongside of the moon, like at the exact same time, that is very synchronistic. This is a shift not only in terms of our energy and our self-perception, but also in terms of our emotional body as well, since this is Mars and the moon making this ingress into the sign of Aries simultaneously together. So major shifts going on today, you guys. Like I said in my intro, you know, the way that we're feeling when we wake up today is likely to not be very congruent with the way that we are feeling when we go to bed tonight, if we can even like do that, because another aspect of this energy, Mars and the moon both moving into Aries today, and also we can't forget Jupiter is in the very beginning of Aries right now as well. And so Mars moving into Aries is also sparking an incoming conjunction to Jupiter, which expands everything. Mars is our energy. Mars in Aries is like the heights of energy, okay? And then when we have Jupiter there as well, this is an expansion of energy. And after such a long period of time where these Pisces-Neptune vibes were so strong and pronounced because of the planets that we've had transiting through Pisces so far this year, this should definitely be waking us up and making us feel, like I said, like reinvigorated, like maybe we're coming back to life or we're waking up from some type of daydream or fantasy or illusion or fog that we may have been operating under. And it could really be elevating energy levels, and it might make it a little bit difficult to sleep this week. So wanted to say that as well. But generally today we are waking up and we are coming back to life. And like I said, this is actually going to be accelerating. Like today it happens, later this evening it happens, but it's going to be accelerating all week long as Mars is now moving into Aries this evening, but then will continue to move closer and closer to Jupiter. And also, like, I cannot understate the fact that we also have the moon there as well. That is also very significant because the moon is like a trigger planet. Wherever the moon is transiting has a tendency of, whatever the moon is transiting or making aspects to, it really triggers and activates those energies. And to have the moon in this exact alignment for Mars's entrance into the sign of Aries, this is really all-encompassing, I guess you could say. This is a very strong, palpable shift that we are likely to be experiencing, and it's going to be accelerating over the course of this week as the moon also moves into conjunction with Jupiter, moving through Aries, and Mars moves closer to Jupiter. Very high expanded energy, willpower, passion, motivation. Also though, anger, aggression as well, standing up for ourselves. These things could be coming through. But definitely this energy is building all the way up really until our new moon in Gemini that we have coming at us as well, which is probably going to be a pretty feisty new moon cycle based on everything else that we have going on. But number one, let's get into like the breakdown of this energy. We are still today in the Taurus cycle. Even though we have a Gemini sun going on right now, we have not yet come to our new moon in Gemini. So we are still technically in Taurus season, which gives, of course, Venus a special prominence in the charts right now, in the energetic field right now, because she is the ruler of Taurus and we are still in this Taurus cycle. Now, another thing putting a prominence on Venus today is the fact that yes, we do have that sun in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury has also recently retrograded back into the sign of Taurus. So we are in a Taurus cycle right now, Taurus new moon cycle that is rapidly coming to a close. And also Mercury, ruler of the position of the sun right now, is also again in Taurus, ruled by Venus. So Venus is a significant player in the sky today. And today, for this massive shift that we have going on in terms of, again, our energy body and our emotional body, we have Venus discharging 26 degrees of Aries. Now, Venus is also in the sign of Aries, putting even more prominence on this Aries vibe that is so strong today. Even though we are in Taurus season, moving towards Gemini season right now, the highlight is really sort of on Aries and the Aries vibes that are being discharged by Jupiter, Venus. We also have Chiron there. Now we're also having Mars and the moon there as well. So Aries is sort of like the highlight right now in the midst of this other Taurus energy that we have playing out. And Venus obviously is an important facet in that. And today, as I said, at 26 degrees of Aries, that Sabian symbol is a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. And so, as we're going through this shift, as we're waking back up to the reality of ourselves, essentially, a lot of times when we have Neptune, Pisces energy operating, we can be in some type of an illusion or some type of a delusion or a fantasy about something. And with Mars there, it can have a tendency to be in regards to our own self, our own ego, our own self-perception, our own perception of our capabilities and our abilities to move forward and pursue our passions in one way or another. But with Venus at this degree for this day, when we have this shift going on, I feel like this is telling us that we are actually in a process of rediscovering our gifts, our talents, our potential, our resources in a way where we may even find ourselves to be overflowing with more potential essentially than we can hold. A man, what does that say? A man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. So we're rediscovering, and what we're waking up to in this energy is likely to be along the lines of the gifts, the talents, the potential that we hold inside, maybe really seeing ourselves clearly for the first time in terms of, our authentic abilities and what we can translate those into. More gifts than we can hold, maybe overflowing with this potential or these inner resources that we are rediscovering and awakening to right now that may be inspiring us and really motivating us to start pursuing them moving forward. Also, of course, with Venus being the ruler and her in Aries right now, Venus in Aries is really all about getting what she wants and going after her desires, pursuing her desires. And also right now we are in this Taurus cycle that is very much about resources and values and discovering like those within us, potential within us, and learning. The North Node in Taurus right now as well, our next phase of growth is also learning how to cultivate and bring those resources out so that we can really activate our destiny, activate our potential, as we are in this 222 year that is trying to help us do that so that we can align with, magnetize, and attract these gifts and these blessings and these things that are in alignment with our soul and our heart's true version of what can bring us genuine fulfillment. As we are aligning with our authentic truth, our original authenticity, these original gifts, these original talents, these original resources that we hold within us, cultivating them, activating our destiny, moving forward in this 222 year towards this age of Aquarius paradigm. Remember, we are also in a shift of ages right now. And this rediscovery, this reawakening to the truth of our own potential is very important in that process, because the age of Aquarius, this is an age of self-knowledge, self-empowerment, self-mastery, and ultimately co-creation with God and universe. And we can't come to that point if we are still operating under some type of an illusion or in some type of haze or fog about the truth of our own potential, which with Venus at this degree today and all that we have going on, I feel like is really trying to wake us up, bring us back to life in terms of realizing what has always been there, what is really bubbling to the surface, overflowing within us that we can really grasp onto right now, cultivate, nurture, and begin to activate and bring out as we go through this trajectory of aligning with our highest potential, which is what we are called to do in a transition into the age of Aquarius as well. So I like that Venus is at this degree today specifically for this process that we have underway. Now, in terms of these gifts as well, we also have the sun today, you guys, discharging 4 degrees of Gemini. That Sabian symbol, kind of similar to the first one that I just read where Venus is. That Sabian symbol for Gemini, holly and mistletoe reawaken old memories of Christmas. So what are we being reawakened to? We are being reminded of who we are, who we've always been, and what we hold inside. What is waiting to be seen and activated now? What gifts are waiting to be unwrapped that have been like under that tree, reawakening old memories of Christmas, bringing us back in touch with the authentic truth of who we've always been and what needs to be activated within us now in order to rise into our highest potential and really go along the path that can activate our personal destiny as we're moving into this new paradigm, this age of Aquarius. I feel like today is really talking about rediscovering our gifts and being re-inspired by that process in and of itself. And then, you know, with Mars moving into the sign of Aries with the moon, this is also, and Jupiter being there as well, this is also like reinvigorating our own sense of self-confidence and our own belief and trust and faith in ourselves and our ability to be successful in our pursuits. And so with all of this coming back online today and these references specifically about like gifts and reawakening to them, I feel like this is a dynamic that is interwoven in these energies that are playing a role, that are playing a role in terms of how this shift may be manifesting for us, waking back up to ourselves, sort of I'm saying. And it's just like, it's funny because, you know, Neptune, Pisces, dream world, dreamland, like all of this like disconnected from reality type of fantasy energy, like transitioning into essentially like the polar opposite of that, with Mars coming into the conjunction with Jupiter and Aries, the moon being there as well. We are definitely waking up from something and coming back to life, being revitalized in some type of a way in this energy. Now it's interesting as well because Mars and the moon are basically like moving together. They will come together at that last degree of Pisces where Mars is. And then I think it's 720 actually is the time that I saw on the chart when Mars will move to 1 degree of Aries, and the moon, which will be just slightly ahead, will also be at 1 degree of Aries at the same time. Like literally they are, you know, just a little bit apart in terms of their exact degree, like to the minute conjunction. Like I said, the moon is just a teeny bit ahead, but they are both moving together, and they are both going to be at that 1 degree of Aries together tonight, this evening. So really interesting. And this actually, you know, as this transit occurs, as this happens, may require a dimension of self-control. When we have the moon in a conjunction with Mars, regardless of the sign placement, we really need to be exercising more self-control in this energy, because it can really benefit us. And I'll talk more about this in a minute, but I sort of want to talk first of all about the moon in Pisces, Mars in Pisces, in terms of the beginning of the day, because like I said, the beginning of the day, how it starts and how it ends, really on 2 different spectrums, 2 different octaves of things. But to start this day, we do have the moon in Pisces. We also currently right now have Neptune in the later degrees of Pisces. The moon will be making a conjunction to Neptune, and then we'll move into conjunction with Mars at the very end of Pisces before they move together and do their little dance into the sign of Aries. But to start the day today, you guys, this is more of this dreamy, daydreamy energy. We may feel just like fantasizing or relaxing. We may want some extra sleep or need some extra sleep. We may have lower energy levels to start the day, but this also brings heightened intuition and emotional sensitivity as well. Be on the lookout, be open and receptive to any of this, like any of these intuitive hunches or spiritual guidance, or like things that are coming through us in dreams. Pay attention to signs and synchronicities. This is more of this Neptune energy that gives us an ability to sort of glean wisdom from our intuitive connection. We do have this to start the day today. However, this can also bring, you know, Moon, Neptune, this can also bring some very unclear thoughts and self-delusion, something we've been talking about quite a bit lately. Also, unrealistic thinking, and it can be hard to put our feelings into words when we have this going on. Now, it's great for like poetry and for fiction writing and for like artistic expressions and all types of stuff like that. But any type of like logical, rational expression of our feelings or of our emotions can also be difficult in this energy. But again, this is going to shift dramatically as we go throughout our day today, because as I just got done saying, these planets are going to move together. When the moon gets to the last degree of Pisces and hits Mars in that degree, they are both going to transition together into the sign of Aries. And this is the shift from like vulnerability to strength. And this is the energy where we are rediscovering ourselves. And it may have us feeling, as opposed to what we've become maybe a bit accustomed to over the past several weeks when we've had this very pronounced Pisces Neptune energy. This energy, as we get through the day, specifically this evening and into tonight, may have us feeling very reinvigorated, very motivated, very passionate, assertive, again, like perhaps angry and aggressive as well. Irritation is something that can come with this as well. The moon and Mars together, this can definitely bring up internalized senses of irritation that we are sort of looking to blow off steam with in one way or another. So we want to keep that in mind as well. And that's why I was talking earlier a few minutes ago also about this concept of self-control that is probably going to behoove us as we get into this moon Mars energy later in the day. But it's just generally re-energizing as well. Like we may feel quite ready to go. Again, it's like we're waking up from some type of dream or some type of long slumber or some type of haze that maybe we have been operating within, and we're like seeing the colors now, and we are seeing things like much more clearly, and we're seeing ourselves much more clearly, and we're feeling much more inspired and motivated, most likely to assert ourselves in one way or another, to take some type of action. Like we're ready to go. And like I said, it may be difficult to sleep tonight with this influx of this fire energy from our emotional body, the moon, like our actual energy body, Mars, and also in the proximity to Jupiter, all of this being expanded. This could also really bring up like a release of perhaps some pent up anger or aggression that we may have been holding back or trying to avoid while we had Mars in the sign of Pisces, maybe surfacing and sort of like spilling out in this energy as well. So something to keep in mind, like it is more of a feisty energy, and people are going to be less avoidant of conflict in this energy as well. But as I said, with self-control, that is really like the linchpin here in terms of how this energy, whether this energy is like more beneficial to us or more perhaps detrimental in the way that this internalized like anger or something like that, or irritation, or just our energy and our emotions in like a union together like this with the moon and Mars together may be expressing. With self-control in this energy, we are very energetically supported in taking initiative with things that would maybe have been more difficult for us at other times. This is like, you know, if we've been avoiding something for a while that we've just been putting off and haven't wanted to deal with, once this shift comes into play later this evening and throughout this week, we may feel ourselves just like organically sort of coming to a point where we feel like we can address this matter, or like we're ready to handle this, or we're ready to take it on, just sort of like shifting in that way, like not really avoiding things maybe as much as we had been over the past month or so. And also remember, we have Saturn in Aquarius right now, which is like our discipline and also rules our self-control. And so I feel like with Saturn in Aquarius, as this moon and Mars are coming together in Pisces and then into Aries and all this expanded Aries energy that we are about to have going on, we need to be acting from the wisdom that we've gained through experience in alignment with our authentic truth at this point in time. So just another little piece of advice to keep in mind as this energy unfolds. But the willpower and the strength right now to break down like formidable barriers or to make personal breakthroughs in our lives, very supported, very indicated, and likely just to be happening for us as, you know, we enter this energy today. Also, I want to say, you guys, like looking at the chart right now, there is so much energy going on in the signs of Aries and in the signs of Taurus. Like I said, you know, we're in Taurus season right now, and we currently have Uranus, the North Node, and Mercury all in the sign of Taurus. And we have this big, like, stellium of planets going on in the sign of Aries. We have, well, after tonight, we'll have the moon and Mars in Aries, as well as Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus. And so, like, when you look at the chart over today and tomorrow, especially with the moon there is just this massive conglomeration of planets, like in this little wedge of the zodiac wheel in between Taurus and Aries. And, you know, we think about the themes of Aries. This is really a lot about the self and our personal power and taking initiative, our willpower, our action, like the expression of our ego and stuff like that. And then we're talking about the sign of Taurus. This is all about resources and value and potential and cultivating those things to bring us some type of material comfort or security in one way or another, or abundance as well. Finances and financial situations, partnerships, work projects are also very much tied into the Taurus themes. But generally, with this emphasis on the Aries Taurus signs right now, I feel like, again, this is demonstrating that there is a major energetic focus going on right now on both the self as well as resources and values. And we have the Sun and Venus at those degrees today, talking about reawakening old memories of Christmas and the gifts that we have received in the past, and realizing that we're actually possessing more gifts than we can hold at this point in time. And what are we going to do with them? How are we going to use them? What we are redefining right now with Mercury retrograde as well, reevaluating, rethinking, rediscovering, redefining, and reawakening to, are these latent gifts? Like, are these old memories of who we truly were and what we were good at and what we were capable of and the way that we used to view ourselves in the context of what we're discovering now and the truth of the value that we are acknowledging in regards to our own self and this personal delusion or illusion that we may be waking up from at this point in time, really ready to start cultivating and nourishing this abundance, this overflow of potential that we are recognizing exists within us and always has, as we are reawakening to this original authentic truth, speaking of the age of Aquarius, and that being a fundamental process of this energetic shift that we're going on right now. Also today, you guys, we do still have Mercury, who is retrograded back into Taurus, as I stated, forming a trine to Pluto in the end of Capricorn. Both of these planets are retrograde. And so this is talking about an internalized shift, an internalized transformation in terms of the way that we're thinking and viewing ourselves and the way that our mind is working generally. This is also bringing up secrets revealed for sure, exposing to us, bringing us information and messages about things that maybe have been hidden under the surface of things that have been obscuring our view or keeping us in some type of state of confusion or delusion in one way or another. This is also giving us some massive insight into root issues and the inner workings of our own psyche and any type of mental holdups or like negative, toxic mental loops that we might find ourselves in, negative self-talk, negative subconscious programming that has been sabotaging our perception of ourselves and keeping us in some type of state of illusion or delusion regarding our own self-worth, our own resources, our own capabilities, our own gifts, talent, potential, all of that is causing this mental transformation, Mercury and Pluto on a very inward level. And this also, again, could be disclosing certain things to us in various aspects of our life that really help us go through this mental shift, mental transformation as well, and bring us back to a state of clarity of perception in regard to our own self and reawakening us to the original authentic truth of who we are and what we were truly brought here to do. So we got that going on as well. Another aspect of the chart that we have playing out today is this actually is another day where what is happening is very, very much in being orchestrated by the hand of God. We have the north and the south nodes of the moon at play today too to start our day, letting us know that what is transpiring right now is a part of our process of release so that we can releasing things from the past that have been prohibiting us from growing through this next phase that we're being pulled towards at this point in time, this energetic shift and all of this that I've been speaking about. The moon, when it's in Pisces to start the day before we go through this shift, will also be forming a trine to the south node of the moon, a sextile to the north node of the moon, fated dynamic to today's energy that is helping us to release toxic emotions and open to growth. And again, with Mercury also in the trine to Pluto, this is a process that is really helping us to release any type of toxic subconscious programming or emotional patterning or thought loops and stuff, negative self-talk, stuff like that, that has been keeping us from this state of recognizing the truth of who we are, the gifts, the talent, the potential, and reawakening to those in this energy. So I wanted to mention that as well. Like there is a very fated component to what is playing out today as well by the moon's aspect to the north and the south node as we are opening this day. And lastly, I've been describing this, I find this to be so ironic. I've been describing this energy as sort of like being reborn and really recreating ourselves based perhaps on a lot of the spiritual truths and more spiritual realignments that we may have come to over this course of this past couple weeks, past couple months when there's been such a strong emphasis on these Neptunian vibes. I feel like, maybe some type of spiritual awakening or spiritual realignment is sort of motivating this rebirth, this personal recreation that we are going through right now as we step more into the truth of our authentic self, begin to embody and express that. And today, for this moment of time when all of this is happening, we actually have the Earth at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, a little child learning to walk with the encouragement of his parents. So I feel like even this is talking about like this recreation that's going on right now of ourselves back in this little child, reawakening old memories of Christmas, really throwing us back to our authentic original truth, the talents and the potential that was held there, which we are stepping into and embodying now and learning to maneuver and navigate in the world with the encouragement of the parents. To me, I find this so ironic considering that we have Jupiter just a couple degrees off as Mars and the moon move into the sign of Aries, and Jupiter, of course, would rule encouragement and also wisdom. And, Jupiter actually rules the father in astrology, according to some viewpoints as well. So I find that to be very, very ironic as well. We're talking about today on the ground of things as we go through this shift, becoming like the original versions of ourselves and relearning how to navigate our reality from this place of authentic truth with the encouragement of the divine universe, God, higher spirit as well. So beautiful how this is playing out. I want to talk about a couple of the other Sabians in the context of this today. Now, remember, I talked about this a bit yesterday, and I find this to be kind of ironic in the context of the position of the Earth today that I also just got done describing. Before Mars moves into Aries, Mars is discharging the very last degree of the sign of Pisces, 30 Pisces. And that Sabian symbol is a majestic rock formation resembling a face, is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up, begins to look like it. So this degree, to me, the position that Mars is at before moving into Aries, is talking about re-idealizing, what we wish to become and embody at this point in time, waking up to the truth of what we really want to become and what we want to grow into. And then we have Jupiter currently right now at 3 degrees of Aries. And that Sabian symbol is a cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. So it's like a progression. And Mars and Jupiter are so close in the sky right now. And they're both, going to be in the sign of Aries. And this Mars positioning is talking about a boy who sees this majestic rock formation, takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up, begins to look like it. And then the position of Jupiter right now, which is really about to be expanding all of the Mars energy, all of this embodying of personal truth energy, is at that degree, a cameo profile of the man in the outline of his country. So it's like the boy has grown into this man based on his ideal of greatness that resembles this rock formation, and now he is actually representing it, embodying it in terms of the outline of his country, of what he stands for, of his truth, of that ideal. And today we're also talking about the position of the Earth at a little child learning to walk with the encouragement of his parents. So in the way that the energy is playing out today on the Earth, on the ground, we're talking about, being this young child who's learning to walk and take steps in this new reality. And then Mars and Jupiter are talking about this process of discovering our true ideals of greatness at this point in time and giving ourselves the freedom to expand and to grow into those and to really begin embodying them in every aspect and dimension of our, spiritual, but also physical reality that we're experiencing right now. And with the transits that we also have playing out today, I just find that to be very interesting, the way that it's being described. It's like we are rediscovering and reawakening to these gifts, these talent, this potential, these resources within us. We are reevaluating with Mercury retrograde our own ideals of greatness and what we want to become and who we want to grow into now based on that. And then we are learning to navigate, and we are taking the first few steps, and we are, engaging in that process with the encouragement and the support of God and the divine. And it is leading us to a point in a process where we will begin to actually embody that which we idealize and want to grow into right now. So it's kind of a little bit magical to me how this is playing out. And I feel like today should be a pretty significant day for us in terms of, again, like us waking up to something, feeling alive again, feeling reinvigorated, feeling remotivated and re-inspired to really get back on course or take some action towards pursuing a life in alignment with our authentic truth based on the discovery or the re-acknowledgement or the awakening to all that we hold inside, the self-worth, the self-value, the potential that represents, and our universal calling at this point in time to activate our destiny and move along a course that will help to develop and help us experience that. And as a result, in this 222 year, guys, begin to attract and magnetize this heart's true fulfillment type of situations that are trying to come to us as we go through this shift into the age of Aquarius and come into the truth of our full potential. So that is what I have to say, you guys, for the energy and the astrology that's playing out today. Let's talk about the tarot cards for a second. Got an interesting little read going on this morning too. Shuffling the deck this morning, asking God, Spirit, Universe, please clarify the energy of the collective, what's going on with all of us right now in the midst of the shift energy that we have going on. And I shuffled the deck 3 times and we only got 1 card that came out, but we've got some information additionally on the back of the deck. So the first card, or the card really that came out today, was the 9 of Wands. And this is like the wounded warrior card. This is like, when you've really been been through it, but you're still not willing to give up. Like this guy, you know, he's battered, he's bruised, he's exhausted, he's tired, but he's still looking up. He's still got his eye on the heavens. Like he is not surrendering. He is not giving up. This is a card of perseverance through difficulty that is ultimately leading to some type of success. But on the back of the deck, what are we persevering towards? What are we not giving up in regards to? What are we enduring to the point of, you know, making it happen no matter what? It was the Judgment card. This is the wake-up call. This is the rebirth. This is the shift. This is the resurrection, you guys. So this energy, it's so simple. It's literally telling us that no matter, you know, as we start this day today, as we're navigating this energy, regardless of how it feels to begin, we need to keep going. We need to persevere. We need to overcome. We need to not surrender. We need to not lose faith. We need to keep our chin up. Because what we are on the brink of right now is like a personal resurrection, a personal rebirth, a personal wake up, like hearing the trumpets, you know? Like seeing the lights, like coming back to life, waking up to something, being reborn and recreated into a new version of ourselves. And then actually, what did we have under that on the back of the deck? We had the King of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the World in reverse, the Lovers, and the Chariot. And normally, like, I wouldn't go this far back in terms of what we had in the back of the deck, but these cards all coming out like this, and with all these major arcana underneath the Judgment and the King of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, this is telling me, you guys, like, we just need to hold out. Like, we just need to keep going. Like, we need to not let things get us down, because we are on the brink right now of a rebirth, of a resurrection, of a recreation of ourselves. That is restoring our emotional power and our emotional self-control and our control over our own emotions and our ability to be in a place of comfort in terms of living in the power of our personal truth and not denying our own emotions and having very strong boundaries about it. And the Queen of Pentacles, discovering the truth of our value, the resources that we hold inside, the potential that represents, and how we can really like embody that and exude that and be able to attract and manifest those same things: value, abundance, security, safety, comfort externally as well. So we are waking up, you guys, to the truth of our own emotional power and of the ability for that to translate into physical security and physical abundance in the world. And then under that, the World in reverse. This is a cycle that is ending right now. We're breaking a cycle. The Lovers, to come to a place where we can really attract our mirror, essentially, in terms of what we're holding inside of us and what will truly bring us that heart-based fulfillment in this 222 year. These divine relationships, these divine connections coming through. This could also represent our relationship to ourself or to spirit, God, and the divine. And then the Chariot, with willpower and assertiveness, we are moving forward in this direction. So it's really kind of crazy how all of this came out to me, especially with us getting the 9 of Wands being the card that came out, Judgment on the back of the deck. You know, we need to persevere because this rebirth is coming. And with these cards being what was underneath that, the King of Cups, like the ultimate in self-control and self-empowerment based on our ability to control and navigate our own emotions, translating into this redefined sense of internal abundance, resources, value, self-worth, self-love that allows us to attract and manifest these same things in our external world. This cycle that is coming to a close, which we may have been stuck in for quite a long period of time, that is also helping us to attract and align with those things that can bring us our heart's true fulfillment in a very assertive, willful, and, you know, forward moving way, as we have this energy moving into Aries with Jupiter moving us forward along this trajectory. We're determined along this course at this point in time. So that's what I have to say for the tarot today, you guys. Again, like, kind of crazy to me how all of that came out, but it just is what it is. And I guess guess that was the message that we needed to hear today to understand what's really going on in this energy. Now I'm going to draw us one more card. I'm going to pull a synchronicity card for us, or actually I'm just going to shuffle until one comes out of the deck. These, oh, there we go. We actually just got 2 of them. These are little messages from God that just give us some additional advice or insight that we can use to help navigate the energy today. So I'm going to grab the other card and let's see what it says. And again, it's so ironic to me, you guys. We got 2 cards and both of them are talking about themes of change. Change your thoughts and you cannot change another in this day that is really all about these shifts and these changes that are going on. So let's read change your thoughts first. This card says, change your thoughts, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Isaiah 55:11. Whatever seed you plant will come back to you in its fruit. If you plant a bitter seed, you will get a bitter fruit. Sweetness will beget sweetness. Likewise, flavor your thoughts and your speech with sweetness, that you may dwell in a sweet life. Holding to your present thoughts will bring you unhappiness. So change your thoughts today, you guys. And this is just going to be like organically happening, most likely as we go through this shift and this change in the energy that we are experiencing today as well. The next card says you can only change yourself. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Be an example for others. You cannot change others' behavior any other way except to show by good example what sort of things a good life can bring one. Forgive them for their failures. Forgive them for their words. Love them, and by your example, show them the way. This is the only way except to pray for them to know and to follow your example. So we are being the example today, you guys. And that's another thing that I said earlier. With Saturn in Aquarius right now and this moon Mars energy that we have going on, we need to be acting from our wisdom gained through experience. And according to these synchronicity messages, we need to be an example today for other people who are also going along this trajectory in correspondence with the Chiron archetype, actually, that is also a very fundamental aspect of this year and our energetic shift into the age of Aquarius. So lots of themes of change going on in the energy that we have coming at us today. We are responsible for changing our thoughts and making sure that we are in alignment with what we want to create. However, we have no responsibility and we cannot change another. We change our thoughts, we change our behavior, we change ourselves, and then it's up to other people to follow that example if they wish to change their thoughts as well. So we are leading by example today, you guys. We are practicing self-control. We are basing things off our actions, off the wisdom that we have gained through experience, and we are opening to intuition that may be coming through, but also recognizing the truth of the value that we hold within us and getting a little bit excited and inspired about what that could mean for us moving forward. So that is what I have to say today, you guys, for the report, message from the stars, message from the cards. If you guys liked this, please give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would like this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I seriously love all of you so much. You're amazing. So grateful for you. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We're going to have a lot more energy to talk about. We are building into now Mars conjuncting Jupiter. We also have a new moon coming up in Gemini. We're going to have a lot of information, energy, astrology to talk about tomorrow as well. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then. Have a beautiful day, everybody, and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.